It is Saturday, the 4th of November 2023. Greetings and many thanks for joining us on this edition of High Review on High Television. First, our top stories. The outbreak of conjunctivitis plagues the nation. Public Health Minister Dr. Manawuda Malachi and other health experts call on the population to be aware of the looming epidemic plaguing the nation. Plus, practicing journalists and communicators in Cameroon and around the world commemorate the International Day to end impunity for crimes against journalists. But what does such a day mean to the women and men of the food estate is what High Review zooms into. Plus, SDF gets new chairman as Oshi Joshua emerges winner of the just ended elections in Yaoundé with over 985 votes out of a total of 1,565 votes casted. And in sports, I saw South Limbe records a goalless draw against Jiko of Banchom, counting match day 2 of NCM Elite 2 Championship. Many thanks for joining us for presentation. My name is Rita Mafani Mojoko. Details will be yours in a moment. Thanks for joining us once more. We begin this edition with one of our lead stories. Public health experts in the Southwest region have called on the general public to be cautious following the spread of conjunctivitis in the region. The said epidemic has spread to different towns in the nation, affecting inhabitants. Details in the following report with Cynthia Latte.
The alarm about the spread of conjunctivitis epidemics in Cameroon has been sounded by the Minister of Public Health, Dr. Manawuda Malachi, indicating clusters of infections in schools. The Southwest Regional Delegate of Public Health, in the same light, outlines the symptoms alongside preventive measures.
I want to use this opportunity to reiterate the press release of the Minister of Public Health, Dr. Manawuda Malachi, that was on the 20th. Informing about the conjunctivitis epidemic, and instructing that we should take specific measures at our different regions. Of course, that is what I'm doing with the stakeholders, to inform them first for the presence of this epidemic and what are the corrective measures that we can take to reduce its spread and of course to reduce its contamination. So that's why we still call on the population to know that conjunctivitis exists. Conjunctivitis is very contagious. Conjunctivitis spread can be limited. We just need to follow specific measures. The first measure is hand washing, the normal hand washing that we do. The second is stop retaining those who are contaminated in offices and in schools. They should go back home. The third is to avoid contact. Avoid contact with this person. That's what we call barrier methods. Avoid contact such that the spread will be limited. And again, we say report these cases so that we can help you to manage them and manage them as fast as possible.
The health minister stated in a release on October 30, 2023 that the situation represents a high risk of propagation in the community and more specifically in schools and workplaces throughout the country. Limiting close contacts with people suffering from conjunctivitis without protection, using of single-use towels or tissues, expulsion from schools and workplaces is recommended for people with the epidemics.
The common man should just know firstly that you have itchy eyes and redness of the eyes, and after that you start with sticky eyes. The eyes are sticky. Maybe you get up in the morning and to open your eyes is very difficult because it becomes sticky. You might have discharges. Discharges might come either watery or pus or fluid. When you have any symptom of your eye now, whether it's itching, whether it's a pain, whether it's a color that has become red, whether it's a sticky nature, whether it's a discharge that is coming from there, please consult me. So that when you consult, you know whether it's conjunctivitis, I will give you necessary medications and instructions to follow.
Dr. Manawuda Malachi has further called on the population to go to the nearest health facility in case of symptoms and to respect the preventive measures against the disease commonly called Apollo. Health experts have advised the population to avoid resorting to local treatments, including the salty water therapy, eye drops, amongst others in case of infection.
Many thanks Cynthia Latte for that report. We remain in the Southwest region. The third edition of the Boya Town Hall meeting has concluded with different worries put forward to the Boya Council authorities by the inhabitants. They say adequate solutions will be provided in the days ahead. Details in the upcoming report. It is the third edition of the Boya Town Hall meeting held at the Boya Council with traditional rulers, quarterheads and different stakeholders to discuss on projects earmarked since 2023. Chaired by the Mayor of the Boya municipality, this was a moment of an overview of projects done and more ahead.
So now the major thing today was presentation of what we have done, what we intended to do, and what we have not been able to do, and the reasons there. Major thing is on communication, communicating what we have done. Another issue goes to the fact that we should have a public-private partnership and move towards the business aspect of the council in line with the 2019 law on decentralization, which are aspects that we have been reflecting on and we started on, but we have to accelerate much more. Another one is to look into the public claiming ownership of projects realized by the council.
Circulation crisis, water crisis, sanitation and more are some of the points discussed as they had deliberations and shared ideas on how to build and redesign the town of Boya.
I think it is very, very successful in the sense that all questions, all people who spoke with clear minds for calling or for developmental ideas that would make Boya great. And when the responses came, they were also very, very fraternal and they were very encouraging. So I think this is a very welcome idea. As the mayor promises, it should be at least 3 or 4 in a year so that it helps him to know what is lacking behind, because as he said, no one has monopoly of knowledge.
Facilitating the use of other roads in Boya in order to decongest the Boya Boulevard road so as to ease mobility, and many more were equally highlighted.
I recommend that they should consider increasing sensitization about climate action. I think climate action is not something that is in-depthly addressed at the level of the council. I think that what the council is doing is reactive measures to disaster management, but the root cause, which is climate change, is not really being addressed adequately. So I really want to recommend that the council should also put in enough consideration when it comes to addressing the root cause of disasters. And in this case, now it's climate change.
As the quarterheads and other stakeholders presented community concerns and worries, a follow-up on projects earmarked, research on some proposed as some of the resolutions taken at the end of the meeting. We now talk education. Some 250 students have been admitted to study nursing at the St. David Institute of Health Sciences in Limbe. This was during the matriculation ceremony at the said institution. More with Alice Ekomi Likie.
I will conduct myself with dignity, honesty, civility, support the mission and vision of the institution.
Over 250 newly matriculated students are being welcomed into St. David's University Institute of Health Sciences.
Today we are immatriculating our students, and we already know how important this immatriculation ceremony is. So it's like welcoming the students into the school and also giving them the rules and regulations to be a good member of the school, candidate of the school. Yeah. And it's always a tradition for all higher institutions to do this. So St. David is not left behind.
The matriculation ceremony that took place at the Limbe campus brought together newly admitted students from other campuses to be officially part of the institution.
Okay, thanks for that. Actually, because of the confidence and trust the public have in us, we have decided to extend our position to various sites in Cameroon. And our dream is to make sure that we achieve the highest, like extending to all the 10 regions. I think my next dream is to extend this campus to Yaoundé, and I'm sure by next year we shall be there.
The goal of this school is to help promote health services in the country.
We are training dreams, we are training quality health personnel that the public actually wants. For example, we are training good quality nurses, we are training good quality midwives, we are training good quality laboratory technicians, we are training even good quality pharmacists and other departments, physiotherapists and so on. So because of that, you yourself can see everywhere is crowded.
Being admitted into this institution is like a dream come true.
I heard the school is very good school, discipline, and have good laboratory and good lecturers. So I feel very good being here, and I feel very excited being matriculated here and to the future.
It was a colorful day as part 2 of the program saw a football match between students and staff and some sketches to crown the day.
Let's now talk empowerment as the National Civic Service Agency for Participation in Development of the Southwest Chapter trains youths on pig rearing and how to go about agronomy as a means to curb unemployment. More in the following report with Larry Tengeneng.
The National Civic Service Agency for Participation in Development of the Southwest Chapter is empowering these volunteers who have undergone training in agronomy since June to be the masters of their destinies with these healthy piglets from the said agency.
Yeah, so far we started on the 15th of June 2023 with the theoretical classes. The trainers have all been present, and then we went to the construction. And today the piglets are there. We have 21 of them, and we are all trying to get lessons from the delegate of livestock, who is trying to tell us on how to receive the piglets.
With the necessary knowledge gained and the provision of piglets and organic feeds and other chemicals, the beneficiaries express their deep satisfaction with the said gesture.
I must express that I feel very happy and satisfied. It's not easy to promise you something and at the end you see it. So it's a feeling of joy. We are overwhelmed with joy. All the volunteers here in Bokwango. It's been since June we started with training, and we want to be, in fact, we are just so happy that it has finally come to realization.
The coordinator of the Southwest Bureau on her part encourages the volunteers to be assiduous in the rearing of these piglets while appreciating the local authorities of Bokwango where the said structure is erected. With this empowering initiative of the National Civic Service Agency for Participation in Development, with the Ministry of Youth and Civic Education concludes, this encouragement to the youngsters have all it takes to make them shape their destinies.
Let's now talk politics. O.C. Joshua is the new chairman of the Cameroon main opposition party, which is the STF. This was during the 10th convention, which took place in Yaoundé, as O.C. Joshua emerges the winner of the elections. Larry Tengeneng once more.
The main opposition party in Cameroon now have a new chairman after the long-standing and subsequent demise of Chairman Ni John Frundi. This was the outcome of the SDF 10 convention that took place at the Yaoundé Sports Complex over the weekend as Honorable Joshua O.C. emerges victorious.
Joshua O.C. hereby pledge to respect the constitution of the party and to serve the party to the best of my ability, so help me God. With just 3 minutes, I want to tell you that this party is a serious party, and a serious party needs serious leadership. Let us all have that in our minds when we come down and vote, because what is happening today in this place will likely shape the future of Cameroon in 2025. Comme ça qui veulent gagner les élections en 2027 m'accompagnent. C'est de ça qu'il s'agit ici. Il s'agit des municipales, il s'agit des législatives, il s'agit d'un leader fort pour pouvoir y arriver. Et vous savez qui est ce leader fort.
With OC securing a landslide victory with 985 votes from 1,565 votes cast. Ashewa David Justel from Kambe in the Northwest region came second, while Gordon Zama from Limbe came third. With thunderous acclamation engulfing the atmosphere, many in the party welcomes the outcome. The Saturday all-night 10 elective convention wasn't void of drama as some disgruntled delegates exhibit their displeasure.
I think we get to university. Let them explain to us here. Motion! Anybody who doesn't want to listen to me is the person who is destroying the education. Here will never. I will not go.
Filling stations for each region. And there will be somebody to guide each voter.
The new chairman called for unity for all to work together for the good and prosperity of the party. With the new John Fundi post-era that starts with Joshua Osip, political observers in Cameroon and beyond are closely observing what the outcome of the Joshua Osip era will look like.
Many thanks, Larry Etengening, for that report. On to something else. Access to potable water remains a daunting task in the town of Boyer, precisely in Boyer town, as the indigents continue to face the repercussions of the flash floods that occurred in March. As a result, to fight this plight, a non-profit organization known as the Wholesome Health Promotion donates borehole to the locals in that said area. Details in the following report with Jabi Kitty.
Water is an essential element of life, a basic need for most communities, especially within the health sector. In Boyer town, southwest region of Cameroon, access to potable water is one of the problems faced in the community.
Working in the hospital as a medical practitioner, we have been seeing a lot of cases due to poor water supply within the community.
To ameliorate the situation, a US-based non-governmental organization, Wholesome Health Promotion, under the leadership of diasporan Therese Tande, is on the way to providing borehole water supply to the Boyer Town Health Center and its environs.
This came as a result of the crisis that we had, the calamity that happened where all the pipes around Bonalionga area were destroyed, so there was a shortage of water. So the organization decided to put water here in the health center so that in case of any shortages, even the communities around can benefit from this water project.
The act of goodwill was received with songs of joy as the project was officially presented to the staff of the health center and community members on Thursday, October 26, 2023.
I think this project will go a long way in serving the health center and the surrounding communities.
This project is very important because one element of quality of life is water. And having the water in a sustainable way will help to combat diseases that we can face, like cholera.
At times, we used to have shortages of water in our school. So this program of bringing us the borehole so closer to the school, we are so grateful.
As work on this project commences, it is hoped that Wholesome Health Promotion extends this gesture to other communities in need.
You brings water, brings life. So the fact that they are giving water to this hospital, it's a wonderful thing that they are doing, and we want to thank them, but to encourage them, that we know they can do more, we know they can do better, and that after Boyatan, when it's probably a place like Great Support, we're also expecting something like that from them.
This engagement of wholesome health promotion aligns with UN Sustainable Goal 6.1, which calls for universal and equitable access to safe and affordable drinking water for all by 2030.
As the saying goes, water is life. We remain in the issues of water. Water scarcity in the town of Wombe in Menchun Division in the Northwest region is a worry as denizens have to trek several miles to get water from purified streams in the area. This is one of the problems faced by inhabitants of that said environment as they plead for the government to provide pipe-borne water. Details in the following report with time for closing.
Water palaver is quite a problematic issue in Wombe, the administrative headquarters of Menchum Division in the Northwest region, as inhabitants go trekking for several miles just to get the precious liquid.
Long distance, but now we are free for carrying waters, and as you can see, you can just go there right now and you will see the drinkable water. When it is rainy season, we are not facing difficulties for waters, but when dry season comes, that is where we face difficulties for waters.
The problem we face here is to arrange the road. That's one problem. And here around we don't have taps, and this is water from the hill. People from afar and near, people from market, they come to carry water here because this is the only source of water that is around.
With the rains that I witnessed during this period of the year, it has led to the sprouting of purified springs that the locals heavily depend on.
This water is from the hill. So since the water is from the hill, we have been facing difficulties even to connect it or to be it. Now, as you can see, as the water is, we are now trying that youth, we should come out from three corners so that we should be managing so that we can have drinking water. We have people like Warren Richard and all the rest that can help us so that we can even have good drinking water to be it, so that it should be solid, so that we cannot be struggling to go and carry the water.
The issue that has led to the young and old who embark on the journey to get water, inhabitants in Wombe town remain focused in relying on the purified springs for their daily routine tasks while hoping the competent authorities do the needful by providing pipe-borne water to the entire community.
Many thanks to Tam for closing for that excellent report. We remain in the town of Wombe as business persons cry over the slow pace of business activities in the area. The slow turnout of business activities is as a result of bad farm-to-market roads, as thereby hindering business activities. More in the following report with Tam for closing once more.
Business persons in Wombe of Menchum Division in Northwest Cameroon say business is slow in this part of the region coupled with the bad road networks.
For the first time for business, our own challenges of business na road. Because the only thing we need for the Wombe na road, who get road we do business, but without road we no fit do business. Because 2 weeks ago we camion on 4, and most of our car we dey for the camion it don't spoil. So how we survive for the Wombe? We no survive for the Wombe because we no get road.
Road. Matter of road. When road they fine, they come any week then they review with them for market. Every week they review here.
Some attribute the fluctuation in the business sector due to the non-availability of incoming persons from Bamenda and other areas.
You don't say for here market for here. You don't say Bamenda people to come buy for women. Yes. So Bamenda when Bamenda people come market for women, it change. If it be say it be less, it will high because I mean, they don't come down. But if now only we pay the moderate, but if they come down, market will change. So now the kind of challenges that we get up.
With the slow phase of economic activities due to the porous road network as they rely heavily on it.
But they carry most of the things for bike. And bike no fit survive people them for who. So most of our things they now buy they try for heavy. And by we say and say the thing they will sell and buy no fit carry.
From the Womb main market to the other commercial hubs, the town is quite booming as the different economic operators go about with their different businesses.
We remain in Bafut. Members of the Bafut Cultural Development Association have donated some didactic materials to schools in the Bafut subdivision. This is to ensure the smooth functioning of the 2023-2024 academic year. Details in the upcoming reports. The Bafut Cultural and Development Association Manjong are conducting a back-to-school campaign in the area. The donation exercise brought on board the children who received didactic materials.
Back to school being donated by our elite from Bafut Development Manjong in Northern America. So because of the inconvenience that we have, that's why we are doing the back of school now. So this is to boost the back to school in Bafut subdivision. In the whole Bafut we have some 7 villages. So this donation is coming from the Northern America elite of Bafut Development. You know, in Bafut subdivision, our elites can be supporting schools, giving some incentive for the teachers, and at least seeing how they can even equip some of the school by giving carbon water or this kit.
Some of the teachers in the locality say this gesture is quite timely as school turnout has been encouraging while dishing out their challenges.
We have an enrollment of about 195 pupils as of last year. So the challenges that we face is accommodation. We don't even have accommodation. The children do not even really sit well to study. And then we have a few teachers, that 195, we are managing it, just the 3 of us. And then we have a low payment of the fee that is allocated to the children. So those are the few things. And then
the area that has witnessed a lack of teachers, some of the courageous teachers there are hoping for better conditions.
It's really a good token that the people will merit a good success in their studies. And I'm also giving thanks for the donors who are appreciating us here to take up the brilliance of the children through their learning process. So I'm happy for what they are doing. So God should keep them, give them more thanks on their elbows so that they can continue to support us here to run the community as so far as education is concerned.
The children are quite satisfied with the donation as they appreciate their benefactors.
It has helped us and our parents so much so that they do not spend a lot of money while buying books.
The Bafut Manjong Association brings smiles on these children. The association remains committed in making sure their children learn in a serene and harmonious condition. Away from that, the International Day to End Impunity for Crimes Against Journalists has been observed. The day reflects on the challenges and the plight of communicators and journalists as they plea for freedom while reporting. Time for closing zooms into this year's observation.
Every year, the international community comes to reflect on the working conditions in which the men and women of the Fourth Estate go through. As such, this has led to the commemoration of the International Day to End Impunity for Crimes Against Journalists. With the low or non-payment of salaries to the journalists and attacks from both the state and non-state actors, the 2023 Observer seeks to raise awareness of challenges faced by journalists and communicators in the exercise of their profession and to warn of the escalation of violation and repression against them. The Cameroonian experience of practicing journalists is equally not different from that of other countries as per the report of the Committee to Protect Journalists (CPJ) by 2022. The situation Samuel Wazi Azizi, Martinez Zogo, and Rebecca Jemia, who was killed by an explosion in Momo Division of the Northwest, are a few examples that are quite fresh in the memories of Cameroonians and other observers. With Cameroon ranked third worst jailer of journalists in Africa in 2022 by the CPJ in New York City. With the aforementioned points enumerated above in different countries, state and non-state actors are called upon to respect journalists and communicators as they are just harmless persons executing their jobs. The year's theme: the violence against journalists, the integrity of elections, and the role. You might kill the messenger, but his message lives on.
Let's now get the president of the Cameroon Association of Media Professionals camp in the person of Agbarim Solomon as he talks to us on the plight of journalists.
I think that today is a very important day in the lives of journalists across the world, which I want to take this time as national president of the Cameroon Association of Media Professionals to congratulate journalists working in difficult conditions. As we mark the International Day to end impunity crimes against journalists, we add our voice to that of several organizations and institutions working for the protection of journalists. We work in very difficult times in recent moments in the history of mankind, where journalists are targets, where journalists are being monitored, where journalists are being tracked down just by doing their role in providing information for people to make informed choices. As discussions go on today, going around the violence against journalists, the integrity of elections, and the role of public leadership, it is crucial for stakeholders to know that journalists are not enemies of the state. Journalists work to enhance democracy. Journalists, they do work to enhance the rule of law. Journalists, they do work to enshrine governance in that which we do so that the community can live in peace. At this point in time, we say no to target killing of journalists. We say no to tracking down of journalists and killing them. We say no to discrimination. We say yes to access to information and yes to the protection of journalists across the world. We can only build a prosperous and sustainable democracy in our various countries if we single out the important role that journalists play in shaping opinions.
This is a presentation of High Review on High Television, and we are streaming live from the studios of High Television, Malingo Boye. Let's now talk more on health. An advocacy meeting with the Governors Forum of the Southwest Region and other stakeholders have met in Boya in preparation for the second edition of vaccination campaign against poliomyelitis. This is aimed to get everyone informed and involved. More in the following report with Alice Ikomelike.
In bringing everyone on board to ensure the effective response to the Round 2 vaccination campaign against poliomyelitis, an advocacy meeting with the Governors Forum and other stakeholders in preparation for the vaccine has been held in Boya this Wednesday, November 1, 2023.
27% during the first round of the polio vaccine. campaign, and we're hoping to do better this second round that is starting on the 3rd through the 5th of November.
The response for the first round was quite encouraging, and hands are being put on deck to achieve better results.
The first strategy is normally the door-to-door strategy. And you know that our region is a region that has also some security challenges. So we don't stick just on door-to-door strategy. We also do other hit-and-run strategies. We do fixed strategies, and we do fixed mobile strategies. So there are different types of strategies that are adapted to the different community that is the problem. So we don't have the same strategy that is disseminated throughout the region. Each specific health community, we have an adapted strategy that we have discussed and agreed with that community. Of course, polio is one of the most incapacitating virus. So we should carry out all our children 0 to 5 to take this vaccine. Not only that, every other child right up to 23 months that has not had the routine vaccine should also be presented so that this child should have the catch-up of this vaccine. This is very important.
It is important for every child to get this vaccine.
The second round campaign is very important. I can call it a follow-up campaign because the first campaign was to reduce immunity, but the second round complements this immunity that is required to prevent the circulating vaccine-derived variant of the polio virus in the southwest region. We had some refusals during the first round vaccination campaign, mainly because the parents were not around when the teams were coming for vaccination. We also realized that based on some perceptions in the community, there were also refusals, and what is to take note is that 95% of these refusals were managed. This second round, we're looking at those 5% that were not managed, and we've developed messages, we've developed the various strategies which we are going to use to go down and convince these people who refuse vaccination during the first round.
Come the 3rd to the 5th of November, it is expected that parents make their children available for the vaccine.
Away from that, let's now talk something else. World Cities Day has been observed globally on the theme Financing Sustainable Urban Future for All. However, most African cities are faced with poorer structures, bad roads, and a lot more. Tampo Clothing has details on this.
Financing Sustainable Urban Future for All is the theme of the 2023 World Cities Day. This day is expected to greatly promote the international community interest in the global urbanization, push forward cooperative amongst countries in meeting opportunities. The day is also set aside to address challenges of urbanization and contributing to sustainable urban development around the world. It is important or critical that all relevant levels and sectors of government must be involved in making decisions on investment instead of only those involved in collecting taxes and other revenue. Urbanization provides the potential for new forms of social inclusion, including greater equality access to services and new opportunities, engagement and mobilization that reflects the diversity of cities, countries, and the globe. In a world where cities are growing and expanding at an unprecedented rate, it becomes increasingly clear that we must make strategic investment in green urbanization to ensure a sustainable future.
We now take you to the world of sports. Isosa of Limbe has begun their MTN Elite 2 to win over Pante of Mde. The game of last Sunday took place at the Limbe Centenary Stadium with Jefta Are scoring the lone goal. Boris Asonongwefo, sports reporter, watched the match and now reports.
In a scintillating encounter at the Limbe Centenary Stadium, it was Isosa who came out victorious against Pante Sportive of Mde. Newly signed Ari Jefta from Continental FA of Boya was making his debut for Isosa, and he did not disappoint, scoring the lone goal in the second half to ensure Isosa claimed all 3 points on match day 1 of the MTN Elite 2 Football Championship.
I'm a happy man. I think we have played, you have seen for yourself. We have certified the population. Everybody in there was here to see that we win a match in the early two. This game is a beginner. We have to satisfy our population, and just having the victory today, we have attained our objective for today's match. I saw the objective first is to maintain to be among the first four to go to play the play-up of the early two. When we reach there, we shall see what we shall look for the second solution. The first objective is to reach there. When we reach there, I think we have a young squad that can fight for the early ticket.
Despite this defeat, Panther is looking forward to their next encounter.
No, I think it was not bad because all the players we have are from the regional league, those who play today. The transfers from the professional league didn't take place, but I will not lament myself on that. I think when a player has a license, is to play. So they were not that funny. I think they proved that they have what it takes to play MTL2. So we'll go back and prepare to start our league at home on Wednesday.
This was the first time Isusa was participating in the Elite 2 Football Championship after winning the 2023 edition of the National Interpol competition. Isusa began on the front foot with Jefta and Albert Tiku finding chances, but their finishing left much to be desired.
What he told us is to keep on fighting, because during the first half we were really down. And I just pray and I hope that maybe it's because of it's the first game. And during the second half, we were encouraged by him. There was some encouragement we get from him, and that is why we entered during the second half. We were able to give our all, and that's why we come victorious.
With 3 points in the bag, Isosa will be hoping to replicate this performance in their next game on Wednesday at home to Njiko FC. For Panther Sportive on Day, their next encounter will be at home to Leopard Sportif of Douala.
Still in sports, the sum of 13.1 million francs CFA has been raised by the Elite 2 side Isosa following their first ever fundraising congress. Boris Asonongwe for once more.
The first ever Congress of newly promoted M10 Elite 2 side Isusa had a goal of making the club a people-centric club, bringing together club presidents, coaches, supporters amongst others. The sum of 13.1 million francs CFA was raised in a show of solidarity with the Limbe-based club. The club equally received training equipment to aid them in the Elite 2 Football Championship. According to the president, Isosa will look to play its home matches both in Limbe and in Boya.
Games to Pumba or to Tiko or to Moyuka or to Ekona, but for the lack of standardized modern structures, approved structures by the federation, we are unable to take our games there. For now, the federation has only informed us that there are only two pitches that are up to standard, and that is Boya and Limbe. So that's why we take the matches to Boya. We believe that we've had a lot of support from people from Boya. Boya United President Kaji, you could see that we had the president of Fako United here, a lot of people from Boya as well. So it's important to take the match to Boya. For us to also showcase and have the people of Boya enjoy Isosa.
Isosa recently signed coach Tite Edwin from Jalakwan Sports Academy and former Victoria United coach Mbog Maput to their technical bench, and these additions are expected to propel the side towards the ambition for this season.
The idea for us is that we can do things together, and charity begins at home. If we have to grow beyond boundaries, we have to look at those that are here. We have qualified tacticians here. You could also see that today on the high table we had the coach of Ashri of Douala. Is also a bona fide son of the soil from the southwest region. So he's also a supporter of the region, and this is the idea that we want, that Isosa is a people's club, a club for the whole region of southwest, and our idea is to ensure that everybody, every southwesterner is part of the project of Isosa.
The first ever Isosa Congress was a dress rehearsal for the side's first game against Panther Sportive on Day, which they won 1-0. Isosa has been placed in Pool B in the MTN Elite 2 Football Championship alongside Leopard Sportif of Douala, Jiko FC, Rangers of Bafut, Aiding Sport, AS Fab and Dragon of Yaoundé.
Many thanks Boris Isono for that brilliant report. Still in sports, in a bid to increase her points tally and leading on her group table, Isosa of Limbe has recorded a goalless draw against Diko FC of Banjo, counting match day 2 of MTN Elite 2 Championship. Sports lady Sonita Ngonyi has more on this.
After beating Panther of India 1-0, Isono of Hope Sports Academy on match day 2 picked up a goalless draw against Ndiko FC of Banjul on Wednesday 1st November 2023 at the Limbe Centenary Stadium. The Limbe-based side, open to several scoring opportunities in the first and second half of the encounter, failed to make the net shake as the team now have 4 points after 2 games played.
The game was a good one, which played very well. And my boys resisted, we tried what we can do, and we just have the result of our
2 games, 4 points. Are you satisfied so far?
We are satisfied out of 6, we have 4, we are satisfied. If we don't win, we should make sure that we don't lose again. So we are still on the footing.
Ndiko FC, who came out from a 4-1 win during match day 1, showed up powerfully during the second segment, but Isosa's defense stood tall.
Nous sommes satisfaits par rapport au match que les enfants ont fait parce que c'était pas vraiment facile. Et nous avons aussi été gênés par le climat. Mais nous sommes en train d'avoir un point et on ne peut pas clasher sur ce point. Non, je pense que au prochain match, on va continuer à travailler pour essayer de gagner le prochain match. C'est un championnat qui est un peu difficile et je pense qu'on va travailler.
Isosa in her first away game will battle with Leopard, while Ndiko FC will rub shoulders with Panther on November 4.
That sports report now brings us to the end of this week's edition of High Review on High Television. For presentation, my name is Rita Mafani Mujoko. I leave you in the company of more interesting programs coming up at High Television. Have an amazing weekend.